This our third annual State of the City address by Mayor Tom Girardi. We're delighted at the Chamber to be a part of making sure that this occurs each year, and we always look forward to what the Mayor has to say regarding where the city stands, new projects, etc., and we look forward to that this morning. I know the Mayor needs a little introduction, but he is, as you probably know, a lifelong resident of Joliet. He attended Sacred Heart School, Joliet Catholic High School, and Joliet Junior College. He spent 22 years as a Joliet firefighter and served as president of Joliet Firefighters Local 44 for 16 years. He began his service to the city's residents in 1990 when he was elected to the Joliet Park District Board, where he served for 6 years. Tom was an elected Joliet City Councilman at large for 15 years, beginning in 1996. While he was councilman at large, he chaired the City Council's Public Safety Committee, the Water Park Committee, the Baseball Committee, and the Public Service Committee. He was elected mayor in 2011. He has been married to Rose for 51 years. They have 3 children, 6 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren. If his adult life doesn't say public service, I don't know what does. I just don't want to read all this, but he's been involved in so many things. Would you a warm welcome for Mayor Tom Girardi.
Good morning. First of all, I have to make a correction. We've actually been married 52 years, 53 in October. My wife, Rose. You want to stand up, Rose? This year's State of the City is again sponsored by Joliet Area Chamber of Commerce, and I want to thank Russ and his staff for putting this together. They do a great job for our city and today sponsoring this event. I hope you can join me after this for a continental breakfast outside. It's free. As Russ says, I'm a lifelong resident of City Joliet, and I've seen our city go through good times and bad. When times are good, we definitely know how to celebrate, but when times are tough, we help each other out, and we move forward together. And that's exactly what has happened since I took office almost 3 years ago. I fulfilled a campaign pledge by working together with the majority of the City Council, as well as the City Manager and his staff, to dig Joliet out of a $17 million budget deficit. We're not out of the woods yet, and there's more work to do, but today Joliet is operating under a balanced budget and a reserve fund, and we did it without reducing city services to our residents. I am proud once again to report that the state of the city continues to be stable. As mayor, I will continue to work hard to keep Joliet financially sound by controlling our spending. It won't be easy and it won't always be popular, but I will work to keep our checkbook balanced, and we will not balance it by raising taxes. There are many positive trends in our local economy. First, our general revenue sources. We're up for the 2nd year in a row. One of the reasons is because Joliet's economic climate continues to improve. Our sales tax revenue is up over 2012. Real estate transaction and fees are up. We issued more building permits. Our hotel, motel taxes are up. And we're receiving income tax payments from the state of Illinois on a timely basis. And the year end of 2013, the state only is 1 month behind. Because of this, and by keeping a lid on spending, Joliet now has a 60-day reserve fund, more than $33 million for all operations. Yes, that's a lot of money, but a major disaster such as a tornado or an act of God could easily wipe us out. We are also facing some steep financial obligations that keep growing every year. What you're currently looking at are the combined numbers of our public safety pensions. They represent the employer's required contribution for the past 8 years. The numbers rise consistently. The next chart represents the employee's required contribution for the next 10 years, plus this year, based on the current assumptions. It's a $25 million obligation in 2014 that is projected to increase to more than $51 million in 2045. This chart shows Joliet's general obligation debt, and this I am very proud of. I want you to take a close look at this. Fortunately, Joliet is in the black column. Our $5 million is extremely low when compared to Rockford, which is almost $70 million in debt. Aurora is close to $137 million in debt. And Bolingbrook is just under $210 million in general obligation debt. According to the Governmental Finance Officers Association, this should be about 5% of a city's general fund budget. Joliet's is less than 2%. Overall, Joliet's financial condition after the recession is in much better shape than most cities our size. My number one priority as mayor was to lead Joliet back to a better state financially, and we've done that. But that doesn't mean we have to stop saving taxpayer dollars. Although many of our revenue sources are trending up, one source continues downward slide, and that's Joliet's share of gaming taxes from our 2 casinos. The numbers are not even close to where they were 7 years ago, and we may never see those glory days again. The last 2 years of gaming revenue include video poker, which was recently added to the Joliet bars, restaurants, and truck stops. Joliet's share of video poker taxes is today averaging about $25,000 each month. There are 55 licensed establishments in the city. Of those 55, only 4 are owned by corporations who came to Joliet because of the new law. The remaining 51 licenses were given to existing Joliet businesses, many of which claim that video poker is helping them keep their doors open. I'm not a fan of gaming expansion, but in this case, it's helping many small local businesses survive. And as mayor, I have to support that. And on a side note, I do not intend, other than the existing businesses in Joliet, I do not intend to allow any other video gaming poker establishments coming from outside the city. For those of us who closely follow events in Springfield, the uncertainty of casino expansion continues to be discussed. I recently spoke with State Representative Larry Walsh Jr., who attended the gaming expansion meeting in Tinley Park on March 3rd. Between the new video gaming terminal statewide and the expansion of Rivers Casino and Des Plaines, we are approaching total saturation. As of today, there isn't a bill to expand gaming, but that could change later this spring, or there may not be a bill at all this year. We're not sure yet. Either way, we need to budget for a continuous reduction in Joliet's share of the gaming taxes. Despite the many obstacles they face, our 2 world-class casinos, Hollywood and Harrah's, continue to be Joliet's biggest tax generators, largest employers, and outstanding corporate neighbors. I thank them for all they do for Joliet. Every citizen deserves to be safe in his or her neighborhood. That's why last year, some members of the council and I worked to restore funding to the neighborhood policing. It's an important program that improves communications between residents and the Joliet Police Department. I am extremely proud of the work that's done by the Joliet Police Department throughout the year. While the city has experienced large decreases in homicides and batteries this year, robberies and assaults were up. I believe the numbers don't yet show the full impact of the return of neighborhood policing. The program has proven to be successful in the past, and there is no better way to stay in touch with our neighborhoods. Joliet has one of the finest police departments anywhere, and 2013 brought a change in leadership. I would publicly like to thank former Chief of Police Mike Trafton for his years of hard work and dedication to the department and the residents of Joliet. We were blessed to have a person like Mike, and we're blessed to have a strong field of local candidates to fill the position after he left. I have no doubt that we have found the right person to fill Mike's shoes, and he is our outstanding new Chief of Police, Brian Benton. Brian, thank you. Chief Benton and I agree that all of our Joliet police officers are second to none. But recently, 2 officers were given the well-deserved honors of Officer of the Year. They are Detective Jeff German, badge 234, and Detective Tizo Landeros, badge 220. Detective German was named Officer of the Year by VFW Cantigny Post 367. He has been a Joliet police officer since 2003, March. Through his career, he has continually displayed a strong work ethic and eagerness to excel in his duties and assignments. After having been previously assigned to the tactical unit, Detective German was reassigned to investigations in 2013. Because of his knowledge of state and federal laws, knowledge and training in computer forensics, and his relationship with the Will County State's Attorney's Office, he has developed relationships and respect that enable him to bring cases from simple misdemeanors to major felonies to court for successful prosecution. Detective German is with us this morning, and I ask him to please stand and be recognized. Detective? Detective Landeros received his honor from the Joliet Exchange Club. He is a 13-year veteran who always does his job to the best of his abilities, is always eager to help others, and is a self-motivated worker who needs little direction. During 2013, he was assigned to the Police Department's Investigation Division as a sex offender and violent offender registration coordinator. Throughout his career, Detective Landeros has received 2 awards of merit, 8 department commendations, 8 division recognitions, 6 unit merit awards, and has been twice selected Officer of the Month. Detective Landeros cannot be with us this morning as he is in Alabama for training, but let's have a round of applause in his honor, please. Congratulations to both of you for all the work you do. Thank you very much. Thank you. The Joliet Fire Department continues to keep us safe as well. Last year, they responded to over 19,000 calls for service. Our 9 advanced life support engines responded to almost 4,000 calls, and our fire companies performed over 1,600 safety inspections in churches, schools, hotel motels, and half of the commercial businesses in the city. Joliet's fire ambulance billing increased last year as we reached a new high, collecting over $4 million in fees. Our fire department is also one of the finest anywhere. Chief Formals and I are extremely proud of the entire department, but 2 members of the department recently received the honor of being named Firefighters of the Year. They are Eric Clem and Joel Marzer. Eric received his award from the Joliet Exchange Club, and Joel was selected by VFW Cantigny Post 367. Both are apparatus operator paramedics, and congratulations and thank you for the outstanding work that you do. Spring cannot come soon enough for the Joliet Public Works Department and for us. From water main breaks to snow removal on Joliet's 500-plus mile of streets, it's been one tough winter on them, their families, and all the Joliet residents. I thank them for the hard work. I thank their families for their support over some very long days and nights, and I thank all the residents for their patience this winter. Whether they're patrolling neighborhoods, putting out fires, or plowing snow, every employee of the City of Joliet knows that we are here for one reason, and that's to better serve our residents and business. This includes the customer service experience at City Hall. Mindful of budgets, we are always working to be better. So in our effort to be more transparent and offer greater accessibility to utility bills, Joliet is now offering residents online access to their utility account 24 hours a day. This is the first step to a new utility billing software that is expected to come online in the next few years. We have already signed over 200 residents who wanted to save a few trees and not receive their utility bills in the mail. and in the next few weeks, we will update all bills with this option and let more residents know they can pay online. Speaking of saving trees, the emerald ash borer has devastated the trees in the city of Joliet. I am expecting a proposal from city manager to address the removal and replacement of these trees. We have had a designation of Tree City for over a dozen years in Joliet. We need to maintain our trees and increase the funding to replace those that have fallen victims to the insects. I fully support an increase in our tree replacement program that would prepare us for several years to come. One of the major changes we experienced last year was the exiting of City Manager Tom Thanis. I personally worked with Tom as a city council member and mayor, but I also sat across from the table from Tom during fire department union negotiations. In either situation, Tom Thanis always placed the best interests of Joliet first. He worked hard to move this city forward, and I thank him for his dedication and commitment to his hometown. After an extensive search to replace Tom, Joliet was lucky to find Jim Hock. Since being named city manager, Jim hit the ground running, and he hasn't stopped yet. One of his first suggestions was that we develop a strategic plan to keep the city council and city staff focused on the future. The first step in developing a long-term strategic plan is to know where you're going and how you'll pay for it. Jim Hock recently arranged a facilitator to lead 2 group sessions that included open, honest discussions with myself, members of the council, and many department heads. We agreed on several major priorities. We will now work on a budget to fund those long-term priorities. One key of the strategic plans is to build a strong local economy. I am happy to report that Joliet continues to see positive economic growth citywide in 2013, including an increase in construction of all types of new structures. We added 97 new buildings last year, creating over $57 million in new construction valuation. There was a construction activity in every area of the city. The Route 59 corridor saw interior and exterior remodels of new and existing businesses, including Walmart, Tony's Finer Foods, NASCAR Car Wash, and Friacos, and many others. The Jefferson Street corridor saw large remodels at both Bill Jacobs Chevy Cadillac and Kia Subaru dealerships. O'Reilly's Auto Parts constructed a new building after tearing down a dangerous vacant commercial building. East Side development was strong with new addition of Minor Morris Funeral Home, plus remodeling at Sunny Hill Nursing Home and the CN Railroad Intermodal. PNC Bank and others. Prairie Materials is currently constructing a new concrete plant on Grant City valued at $500,000. The Rock Run Business Park saw increased activity last year with over 1 million new square feet of industrial property valued at over $36 million. The new Hotel Convention Center located near Rock Run Business Park is on schedule. There will be groundbreaking this summer, and we expect them to open in 2015. They are already booking events at the Convention Center for 2017 and beyond. This project includes a Candlewood Suites and Holiday Inn. The Chicago Street corridor is the strongest for new construction with new remodels at Central Grocers, Home Depot, and the new Route 66 Food and Fuel. That opened at the intersection of 53 and Laraway Road. New industrial buildings were constructed in this area, including Joliet Cold Storage, a 230,000 square foot distribution center for refrigerated and frozen foods located in the Joliet section of the Cherry Hill Business Park. And Centerpoint Joliet continues to be the single largest investment in the history of our city as of today, and as of today it's only 20% built out. Last month, I announced Neovia Logistics Services, LLC, would lease a 400,000 plus square foot building to suit on 30 acres at the intermodal facility. The company will import and export mechanical parts internationally, as well as export locally produced agricultural products such as grains. In addition, to their leasing, CenterPoint will also construct a 485-square-foot spec facility on 31 acres. Two major projects that greatly impact Joliet and CenterPoint development over the next decade are the Iliana Expressway and the South Suburban Airport. I recently met with John Grueling, President and CEO of the Will County Center for Economic Development, who said Illinois and Indiana are both on board, and they're involved in a completed Tier 2 environmental study for the proposed expressway. Public hearings on the Tier 2 draft were held February, and it will be submitted to the U.S. Department of Transportation for approval. Once this is completed, the states of Illinois and Indiana will release RFPs for the selection of the teams that will design, finance, build, and operate the Tollway Expressway. Land acquisition could begin later this year, with construction starting as soon as 2015. The $1.4 billion project will take approximately 3 years to build and provides hundreds of jobs for good-paying union construction jobs. As for the South Suburban Airport, Illinois state legislatures in 2013 passed legislation that will allow the airport to be built as a public-private partnership, or a P3, with the state of Illinois as the public partner. IDOT recently released a request for information seeking input from aviation consultants, from engineers, passenger and freight airliners, and others to assist the state in developing an airport marketing plan for the proposed airport. The Tier 2 environmental impact study for the project should be finalized in the next 18 months, which will allow IDOT to request proposals from a private sector teams to finance, build, and operate the new airport. These two major projects will only add to Joliet's economy that continues to grow stronger each year. As I mentioned earlier, Joliet's building permits, which are a good way to measure the economy, are up over last year, with a total construction value of over $130 million. We are also seeing increased interest in new housing throughout the city, and that could be because local realtors report that a number of residential housing listings in Joliet is the lowest available since 2007. Another important piece of the economy for the city is to have a thriving downtown, and Joliet is no different. I'm proud to report there's more development and construction activity going on in downtown today than there has been in over a generation. Construction of the Joliet Gateway Center is ongoing and will ramp up this summer, beginning with the relocation of the train boarding platform. Construction of the new bus turnaround facility will begin late this year, and construction of the new train station is slated to begin in 2015. Design plans for the interior of the new station are almost complete. Very few mayors of a city our size can say we have a new 6-story building under construction in their downtown, and we do. It's the new Joliet Junior College City Center campus. Joliet Junior College had a presence in downtown for many years, and this new building will continue their role as an educational economic partner for the city and its residents. The new 96,000 square foot 6-story building is built to the latest energy efficient standards. The steel and concrete exterior structure is composed of 1,100 tons of structural steel, more than 4 times the amount in the Statue of Liberty. When completed, the building will be home of adult education classes and programs, English as a second language classes, workforce development, and JJC's signature culinary arts program. The University of St. Francis is expanding in their presence in downtown Joliet with the renovation of the Mode building that was donated by BMO Harris to the University of St. Francis. Renovations will be a $2.2 million investment in downtown. Renovation is underway and is to be completed for classes beginning in August 2014. The Mode building will house criminal and social justice, history, political science, recreation, sport, and tourism management programs, along with some College of Business and Health Administration activities. USF also operates an art gallery at the Rialto, made possible through grants from the Will County Board and Caesars Foundation. The Mode building, together with the Arts and Design program at the Rialto, will bring up to 500 students, faculty, and employees to downtown each week. The Rialto Square Theater and the Joliet Area Historical Museum continue to draw crowds, and so does City Center Partnership's downtown highly successful events like the parades, car shows, New Orleans North, and Race Fan Rally. The exterior of the Rialto, by the way, is currently receiving a facelift. The Joliet Slammers are ready to kick off another successful season with major changes to their food and beverage operations, such as better customer service and more options. The Slammers are committed to keeping their prices affordable for families. It's one of the reasons they had strong attendance figures last year, and they're ready to attract even more in 2014. Opening day for the Slammers is Friday, May 16th against the Southern Illinois Miners. The City of Joliet and Lockdown are in the works to serve up the best burgers you've ever had and a lot of rock and roll in downtown Joliet. Lockdown is a highly successful Chicago restaurant started by a former student from the University of St. Francis. And I just received word that they have finalized their finances and they're getting ready to start remodeling. I don't know what I'm looking forward to the most with the Lockdown, the used burgers or the heavy metal music. Either way, my wife knows better than that. It'll be a great addition to downtown Joliet entertainment lineup. There is continued movement between Will County government and First Midwest Bank to purchase the bank building to accommodate the opening of Chicago Street and to build a new Will County courthouse. A contract has been approved by the Will County Board for purchase of the First Midwest property adjacent to the courthouse. The details are still being finalized, but two things are very clear. First Midwest Bank is committed to remaining in downtown Joliet and being a vital part of its future. I am committed to doing whatever Joliet can do to keep the courthouse in downtown Joliet where it belongs. We are also pushing to begin the new downtown planning process this spring. This is a coordinated effort to create and implement an economic development plan to market and revitalize downtown. It's true, this has been tried in the past, but we've never done it while I have been in mayor. I will work with all the parties to help create it, but more importantly, I will make sure that it's implemented. 2013 saw a tremendous amount of interest in businesses that want to open up in downtown Joliet, and 2014 looks even better. For those of you who still don't believe people come to downtown Joliet, consider this. Over 6,000 people a day work downtown. Hundreds of commuters start their day at the Rock Island or Heritage Corridor lines. Harris Casino and Hotel attract 1.6 million admissions each last year. Visitors from around the world are coming to the museum and Route 66 experience. The Slammers continue to add to their attendance totals every year, and many Rialto shows are sold out or close to it. There's a lot going on downtown, and much more is on the way. Since I have took office, I have aggressively worked to attract new businesses to Joliet. I have also worked to keep those businesses that have been in our city for many years, some for several generations. But just as we must retain existing businesses, we must go after new businesses also. Many times before a new business comes to town, they want to meet with the mayor. Over the past 3 years, I have personally hosted tours of our city and held meetings with them in my office, or I went to their office. We've had many successes, from grocery stores to restaurants to retailers. We recently announced Fresh Time Markets, plans to lease some of the space vacated by the former My Gopher store near the mall. There is also a major retailer who is finalizing their lease agreement with Newmark Knight next door. We are close to being able to announce another well-known major retailer negotiating with Louis Joliet Mall Management. They're negotiating to lease a high-profile space in the mall. As soon as they sign the lease, you'll be the first to know. I've also had several conversations with Newmark Knight, about developing the former Movies 8 property into a restaurant row. They like the idea and presenting it to a list of potential restaurants. The actual mall itself is doing extremely well. They are doing record-breaking business as one of the top 10 malls in Illinois for sales per square foot. I'm going to repeat that. One of the top 10 malls in Illinois for sales per square foot. And as of this past January, the mall has been owned and operated by Starwood Retail Partners. The mall currently has 98% occupancy rate, and more than 7 million people come through their doors each year, making it the most visited place in Joliet. Looking ahead, Starwoods will be redeveloping the mall by adding some major game-changing retailers. We can expect to see multi-million-dollar tenant build-outs and improvements in the coming months, as well as substantial reinvestment to the mall's interior, including additional seating and lighting. I recently met with the mall management, and they told me something that really surprised me. Traffic counts on Essington Road entrance to the mall are triple of those off of Route 30. That was hard for me to believe. I find it interesting since many famous restaurants tell me they want to come to Joliet, but they need to be along Route 30. We talk to them and we tell them, we give them these numbers. For some reason, they want to be on Route 30, but there's no room on Route 30. All the facilities are built. There is also a renewed interest with two prime undeveloped retail sites. They are the intersection of Theodore and Route 59 and the Boulevard, a development northwest corner of I-55 and Route 30. Another major retailer will be taking a look at both sides over the next few weeks. We do share the Boulevard with Plainfield, but I still want to do whatever I can and whatever it takes to move that site forward, because I firmly believe that 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. The former Joliet Dodge development is looking to break ground this year. We've been waiting for IDOT's approval on the Jefferson Street modification. As soon as that happens, and if the weather ever breaks, we'll hold a groundbreaking and start turning over dirt. The project is going to be home for Aldi's grocery store, as well as Joliet's second Chipotle restaurant and our third Panera Bread. Aldi's is also looking for a site on the east side that they want to build. They don't want to go into existing building. They're going to build a new building. I have made it clear to investors and developers that Joliet is open for business, and almost every new business that has opened a store in Joliet over the past few years has told me that it was their best grand opening ever. That's because Joliet is a great place to do business. The next few months, we will have more good news for our local business community, but the competition for new business is stiff. The competition for new business is stiff. Every other city in the area is also fighting for them. We have to serve up some very enticing tax abatements, et cetera, if you want to get them. Plus, the retail business has changed for the brick and mortar stores. More people are shopping online. They may find what they like on the internet than go into a store, touch and feel it. And they try to find it cheaper on websites such as Amazon.com. Many businesses want major incentives before they relocate. If we give it to them, our offer has to be the best deal on the table, or we'll lose them to neighboring cities. They want to come in Joliet, but most don't want to build. And Joliet does not have a problem that many other cities have. There is a large number of empty box buildings in other cities. We don't have that. That's why I'm asking local developers to get busy and start building Joliet's highly skilled union construction workers are the best in America, and the time to get them their job back to work is now. Keeping jobs in Joliet will always be a priority for me, but so is maintaining the quality of life for our residents. And when it comes to quality of life, Joliet is a lot to be proud of. Let's start with the Joliet Park District that is second to none, with 78 beautiful community parks, 3 challenging golf courses, and 15 award-winning facilities. The Park District's Joliet Taste of Joliet brings families from all over the area to our great city to enjoy food from over 25 local vendors and see some of the biggest names in entertainment. Last year, TASTE attendance broke records, welcoming 50,000 people in 3 days. The present St. Joseph's Inwood Athletic Club now has over 6,000 members, and the Park District recently used a grant to purchase 96 acres in the far west for a large park and a hiking area. Healthcare is another important quality of life, and Joliet is now a destination for healthcare thanks to present St. Joseph's Medical Center. Because of their world-class neuroscience, heart, cancer care, and women's health programs, present St. Joe's Medical Center is the only hospital in Will County recognized by Chicago Magazine and U.S. News and Will Report as among the very best. They recently invested $1.7 million in new technologies and facility improvements, including the newest Da Vinci surgical robot, complete with technology that targets cancer cells in real time, a new on-campus physician practice which specializes in care for women and children, a new state-of-the-art rehabilitation unit featuring all private rooms and a leading-edge gym for joint replacement patients. To improve access to care for vulnerable populations in our community, the Medical Center launched a new clinic just adjacent to its emergency room in partnership with Aunt Martha's. And they opened the region's first and only acute care for elders, a unit built to better serve very specialized needs in geriatric patients. When it comes to education, we have much to be proud of. Joliet Public Schools District 86 is the fourth largest elementary school district in Illinois, serving over 1,300 students with 14 different languages. Eisenhower Academy was ranked as the #1 Will County elementary school by the Chicago Tribune. We are currently celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Joliet Grade School Band. A fine arts celebration celebrating the centennial will take place at the Rialto on April 16th. And District 86 continues to upgrade its technology data network in order to provide 21st century learning environments in all buildings. Joliet Township High School District 204 earned a spot on the Chicago Tribune Top 100 Workplace for the second consecutive year in 2013. A new $28 million addition is underway at Joliet Central. This project includes construction of a new student center and cafeteria. The West Campus recently expanded with the addition of the Science Center. All Joliet Township High School freshmen received laptop computers at the beginning of 2012-2013 school year. Another one-third of all students received laptops at the beginning of this school year. Next year, all JTHS students will be issued laptops. The laptops and the students are both working hard because 69 JTHS students were named Illinois State Scholars last year. One Joliet student in particular is working very hard. Yoja Wang has excelled in and out of the classroom. He is only a junior, but he has accomplished great things at JT West. He received a perfect score of 36 on the ACT exam that he took the past fall. Less than 0.1% of all students that take the test will earn this score. That's roughly 1,100 out of 1.8 million. In addition to his academic success, Wang is also a standout on the JTHS boys swim team. He recently qualified for the IHSA final swim team meet and competed in the 100-yard breaststroke. Yoja is with us this morning with his proud mother. If you could please both stand and take a bow. My alma mater, Joliet Catholic Academy, had a 100% graduation rate last year, with 98% of the students going to college of their choice. The class of 2013 had 37 Illinois State scholarships with a mean GPA of 3.23. They unveiled plans for an upcoming Heritage Quad. The boys football team made the IHS playoffs for the 37th time. The first girls swimmer in 2 decades qualified for the state girls basketball team, and the first girl swimmer in 2 decades qualified for this. Okay. The first girl swimmer, that's what it says, qualified for the girls basketball team, and they won the regional championship in 2014, advanced to the finals, and as you all know, they finished second in the state this year. They set a record for JCA. First time ever a girls basketball team has finished that high. In addition to the construction of the new Joliet Junior College City Center partnership, there's a lot going on at the main campus. JJC continues to provide training to fill today's high-demand jobs, including nursing, fire science, emergency medical services, radiological technology, and more, all of which are housed in their new health professions building. The college is also expanding the programs that prepare people for high-growth jobs, the advanced manufacturer sector. Supported by a $525,000 Department of Labor grant, initial investments include a major renovation of the welding lab and new courses in robotics. The University of St. Francis, Joliet's university, serves 3,400 students nationwide. And this past fall, USF welcomed its largest freshman class ever, who, by the way, also had the highest ACT scores ever. When it comes to quality of life, Joliet has a lot to offer: excellent schools, recreation facilities, access to major interstates and state routes. But the things that really make this city great are the people who live here. Sure, Joliet is known as a city of champions because we're pretty good at sports, but we're also champions in a lot of character. It's been said that character is what you do when nobody else is watching. 3 local men recently showed the Joliet community that they have a lot of personal character. Thanks to the Collins Street Neighborhood Organization, with support from the Joliet Park District, Midwest Generation, CN Railroad, and Darcy Motors, a new baseball field was built at Desmond Park last year. The men I am about to introduce to you came up with the idea to put the park to good use and give the kids on East Side an opportunity. It was the donors who made the field happen, but these men personally spent countless hours organizing baseball teams to play on the field. Because of their time and effort, 192 boys and girls, the ages 5 to 14 years old, are playing ball, and in doing so are discovering one of the most important lessons that you learn in playing team sports, and that's working together. Joe Bellman, Gennaro Morales, and John Gomez were the leading force behind this effort. They are being honored this Thursday night by the Spanish Community Center, and we are very proud to have them with us this morning. Gentlemen, please rise. Today we've learned that the financial state of the city is stable, but the heart of the city has never been stronger and more alive. Joliet is made up of almost 150,000 hardworking, ordinary folks who do extraordinary things every day. We help each other out, we work together, and we move forward together. That's how Joliet was built over 160 years ago. That's how we've made it through some pretty tough times. And that's how we will meet the bright, promised future. Joliet's best days are ahead, and I thank you for the honor and privilege of being your mayor.
Mayor, thank you so much. What a great story to tell.
Yes.
It is a great story to tell. What a great community. We have it all. We have a strong business community. We have great education. We have great health care. We have great transportation. What more can you look for? Thanks so much for coming. Join us for breakfast out in the area around the elevators and wherever you find a table. Thanks so much. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for your service. You know, we meet all the time.